All right, everybody, we're going to do our last set, our control codes and our more blocks. So in control codes, some of these are really sort of self-explanatory. A repeat loop, you can change the number of times you want in the repeat loop. Forever loop, do something forever. If-then statement, so if score equals 10, maybe you want something to happen. These can be changed to any of the variables you create. There's a default for score and count. We'll talk about that later. You can create a new one up there. If you need if, then, or statements or else, you can hit the plus sign here and keep creating those. Okay. You've got a wait code, which is a delay. This is in seconds, so wait 1 second. You can make it 0.1 or more than. If you need to create a random, you can hit it right there inside there, or you can drag the random code in. Wait until tells it to wait until something happens, right? Wait until we shake, we tap on it, or the magnet code. Never use the magnet code, but I'm guessing it has to do with proximity to other sprites. And then this is how sensitive it is to a shake, right? So I usually keep it in the middle, but sometimes for little kids, even the middle one is a little bit too difficult for them. All right, obviously stop code, but then inside the stop code, you can stop everything in your game, just this script, just other scripts, but keep this one live or all sounds. So hopefully that makes sense to all of you. Messaging codes, we'll bring them both up, send and receive. So you can create an infinite amount of these. So you can call them whatever you want. I've got some customized for this game, but they default to message 1, and if you create a new one after that, it'll be message 2, or you can name them whatever you want. You can go in here, you can just tap in and create a name for your message. So send message and when receive message, usually these take place in different sprites, but not necessarily. And let's move on to the more blocks. Tilt to move. They automatically put this in a forever loop because it has to happen forever, otherwise it doesn't work. This allows you to use the accelerometer to control things in the game. So if we hit on here for tilt, we can choose just up and down, just left and right, or all directions. And then how fast we choose it to move on the accelerometer. Now, the one thing I will tell you about this code, which I've used plenty of times, is that when you start your game, if you're using this code, it will set the default 0 on the accelerometer to the position of the iPad or iPhone when you start the game. So that means that if you, for some reason, are holding, say you're laying on a bed and you're holding this above your head, upside down, that will be baseline 0. So make sure that when you use this, the kids are holding their iPad in a comfortable position before they hit play. Otherwise, that baseline of what like flat will be off. Okay, next we've got tilt angle. Haven't really used this much. I guess this will define a specific angle of tilt. I don't know. Never used it. Set variable. So this would be if you need something other than score and count, you can create another variable that you name right here, and then set it means what do you want it to be established to. So oftentimes if it's score, you want to set it to 0 when the game starts and then tally it up when the game ends. You set it back to 0 or set it back when you start the game again. Change variable means what do you want it to change by on an event in the game. Students mix these up quite a bit. Set and change get quite confusing to them. So make sure you clarify what these are. And yes, you can do a negative number in any of these. Okay, display. This has to do with whether you want your variable to be visible up here on the screen. So sometimes you want them to be visible, but sometimes you don't. Like if you're setting a background variable that is just relevant to some of your code, but is not something the user needs to see, then you will drag this up, and at the beginning of the game, you will set it to off. If I tap this, it goes away. So just so you know, this is how you get the variables to disappear. They will default to show if you don't do that. This just is like an insert code for any place you need to insert a variable, and then you get the drop-down menu. This captures info about your sprite or your variable. So you can bring this in and say, all right, I want you to capture info about the size of my strawberry so that you can see when the size reaches a certain number, then do something with your code. So don't really use this much, but could be handy in some advanced ways. The dice is just your randomizer, so you can drag in your random into anything and then put the random between which number to which number right here. This is your addition or subtraction or multiplication code. I don't really use this much, but you can use this in place of anywhere you would insert a variable. Beam, I have never used this, but I think it is basically like sending messages to other sprites in a different way. Looks like you can pick from 8 of them and then you can select a channel. All right. This also might be to communicate with other devices, because I believe you can do multiple devices with OctoStudio. So you could select a message and a channel and have 2 students work together on 2 devices. That's probably what this is for. Looks like it's a Bluetooth connection thing. Okay. And then make is to make your own block, name it something. Never use this one, but rock on if you want to. All right, that is it for all of the codes on the bottom. Hope that helped. Check out some of my videos and tutorials on OctoStudio projects. Thanks.